Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the inaugural GEEKChow podcast slash vlogcast slash I don't actually know the term I'm supposed to use.
Some kind of cast.
Some kind of cast. My name's Tony. And this is my friend.
A bunch of fishermen here.
Tell him your name.
My name's Chris.
It says GEEKChow. We'll be right back. That's not true. We just got here.
We'll be back.
So the way I figure this podcast and these video blogs, these vlogs, if you will, are going to be predominantly based on all kinds of geek culture, and it's GEEKChow. It's like a delicious cheeseburger for your brains. We're going to discuss everything from 8-bit existentialism to what flavor instant ramen we think Spider-Man likes better, chicken or Oriental.
Probably Oriental.
That's racist.
Like, he asked for my opinion. I like it better.
It was more like it's more delicious. It really is. I don't know what flavor it's supposed to be except Oriental. But so space. So today, you'll have to forgive us. It's really late. So we're gonna switch over to our main page here for the video, and just bear with me for 2 seconds while I get this running.
Who's driving car? Bear is driving car. How can that be?
So yeah, it's just I downloaded like a free PowerPoint so we can make a slide show to talk about the things that we're going to talk about today, and that
You can actually see something while we talk.
exactly. Hence the
Video.
video.
Listening on iTunes. Then
Yeah,
see shit.
but we're also currently waiting to be approved by iTunes, so there's that. I read it somewhere that it could take anywhere between 30 minutes and 3 weeks. I'm real excited about that.
30 minutes to 30 days.
Yeah, somewhere in between that.
Time in between.
So if you'll notice, if you'll look up that there's a Patreon if you want to donate money to us, which I don't know why you would, but it'd be super appreciated. And then above that's all my information, my Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, BattleNet, and YouTube channels. So if you want to check all that out, cool. Anyway, let's get into the show today. I got a monitor over here. That's what I keep looking at, for anyone who's wondering.
Nobody cares.
No one cares. It's going to be you, me, and like my grandparents that watch this. Oh, I'm so proud.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Grandma. Hi, Mom. When I did my first Twitch stream, that was a total nightmare. I made like 36 2-minute videos because I was just dropping frames like a boss. And my mom's like, how come your channel's not up? You said on Facebook your channel was going to be up. I was like, I'm having some problems. She's like, I'll watch it and help you. So I got the chat open, and I've got a TV behind me where I'm playing Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past on the Wii U, or on the regular Wii. And it's dropping frames, but I can't tell. So my mom's sitting there writing stuff in the chat. She's like, "Oh, you cut out," and I'm like, "Mom, there's a 20-second delay." She's like, "What do you mean?" And like, it was just, it was helpful for a while, but it was kind of it was interesting because I was like, I think everything's just super delayed. And yes, I'm drinking water out of a mason jar. All right, so today we're actually gonna be talking about the NES Classic Edition that just came out like 2 weeks ago, and how no one on Earth can get one.
Oh God, that was the worst day of my life. Not really. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, when I was like coughing up blood from the sutures, my throat surgery going on.
That might be it.
I mean, the day I learned there was only so much blood a human stomach can hold inside of it.
There are limits.
There are limits to that. But no, I got out of work early to go to try to buy the NES Classic. I had just gotten a bonus. Like, I had, it's like, oh, my bonus check, this is what I'm going to do with it. I show up to the GameStop by my house at 10 o'clock in the morning. Already completely sold out.
How many did they get? A lot of places ordered like 15, 20, 30, and they only got like 2, 3, 4. from what I understand.
They got under 10, I think.
Jesus.
But here's the thing: people had already gone to Target and Walmart, and they were already sold out.
Wow.
And then the people there showed up waiting outside of GameStop in line.
Wow.
Those copies.
That's nuts, dude. Like, well, it's like
I got there an hour after they opened.
Yeah. Well, it's like a day before Amazon opened up their pre-orders for it. They were like, all right, we're going to open up more pre-orders for the NES Classic Edition at 2 o'clock. Well, it was like 5 o'clock Pacific time, but like 2 o'clock for us here on the East Coast. And I was like, all right, cool, let me check this out. Like, I kind of forgot because I was busy doing stuff through the course of the day. And I was like, oh man, it's like 2:08. Let me check. All gone.
Yeah, I had the same thing that day when they released it. I went on. I'm like, okay, well, let me see what Amazon's doing. Like, maybe I can still get one of these things. No, not at all.
They're like $300 now.
Yeah, and they're just like, nope, you can't buy any. Like, not even like it would take this many weeks to get in stock. Just no.
No, just nothing. Nothing.
You can't order it. You can't pre-order it.
But I was looking online today, and like the NES Classic is like $300, $280, somewhere around there. But the Famicom Classic that they released in Japan,
like on what though?
Like on Amazon, but like third-party sellers, eBay, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, but the Famicom, the Famicom Classic, the Japanese version is only
the tiny handheld Famicom.
Yeah, your little itty bitty Famicom is only $170.
Huh.
Like that's all it's costing right now. I haven't even seen these controllers for sale. Like the separate controllers. I know that Mad Cat.
For the Famicom or for the other one?
For the Nintendo Classic Mini, because the Famicom's 2 controllers are attached to it, just like the original Famicom's controllers were attached to it. Like they don't unplug, and they're way longer than apparently the cord on this thing is. But yeah, there's a separate controller you can buy for the Nintendo Classic Mini, but I haven't seen anybody even selling that. Like, not even like Amazon having it. Like, oh, we don't have it anymore, just gone. It's little. That's a really bad picture. But there it is. I mean, that's the size difference between a regular NES and it. Here's the menu.
But which one would you want for a cake?
I want the NES for a cake because the Famicom's kind of flat and is like a top loader, so there would not be as much cake as there would be with the toaster-shaped NES.
But no, I meant I'd want the bigger one. Like don't give me the classic cake.
Oh, you mean between the NES Classic and the regular? Oh no, then I want the regular because the NES Classic's like a personal-sized cake. I mean, anything's a personal-sized cake if you believe in yourself. So we got.
You've heard that tale of Derrick eating the entire ice cream cake so nobody else could have any.
No.
Yeah, he ate an entire ice cream cake by himself and then threw it all up.
For the record, we have a friend named Derrick who's an asshole. He's a good guy when you first meet him. He makes the best first impressions, but the longer you get to know him, the worse you realize he actually is. He's kind of terrible. So.
He has a spite stomach, though. He has an entire reserved stomach just to eat things to spite people. Like, I bought this ice cream cake, but nobody else can have any. I'm gonna eat the whole thing.
I brought it here so you guys could watch me.
Like, I had to go out to get some acquaintances one time. I'm like, I don't want to go alone. Derek, come with me. I'll buy you dinner.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta do this. It's a social obligation. Just come with me. It was all you could eat pasta at Olive Garden.
I wish I.
He goes, and he eats all he can eat. But then it's time to go, and I'm like, oh, thank God, we're finally getting out of here. And the waiter comes by to bring the check. He's like, would you like any dessert? Derek just goes, absolutely. God, he's eating like 6 bowls of pasta. 7 meatballs, 2 sausages. But no, he wants to make this last longer. and for me to pay for dessert for him.
Of course I do. Don't be
Yeah,
ridiculous.
so he gets this whole like, big chocolate cake thing with ice cream. Eats the entire thing, of course. Finally, the waiter comes back. Okay, now we can go. We're leaving. We get to the outside of the mall where this whole thing is.
Oh, yeah, where it used to be in the mall. It's like IHOP now, I think. Or no, IHOP's on the other side. I don't know
We're
what it
into the
is.
front like vestibule of the mall. My acquaintances, they say goodbye, they leave, and then I'm standing with Derrick, who had driven. And
Regrettably.
Yeah, we're like, you go. He's just like, I'll be right back. Leaves, goes to the bathroom, throws up everything.
Thanks for that $8 I just put down the turlet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so gross. I can see you doing it, though. And it's funny, because around mixed company, he's like a very nice person.
Exactly.
And then you hang out with him like one-on-one, and you're like, oh my god.
You chud.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a chud. He's a good chud. Like, he's probably the only chud that I would hang out with on the regular. But he's still a chud. Alright, so we've got the menu for the NES Classic. There's 30 games. There's 22 of them that are shared between the North America and European region, which is one region, and the Japanese region. However, each of those two regions has 8 of their own games. Some of which I don't understand why they changed here and there, but we'll get to that in a minute. So here's the Famicom Classic.
Which is smaller than a personal cake. That's like a cupcake.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want a flat one. I'd want like the NES because it's thicker, like you know,
like toast.
like a toaster. See, here's its menu.
It's like Texas toast.
Yeah, it's the Texas Toast of classic video games. Whereas as we can see here, the family computer, or Famicom as it were, is more like, Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread. Yeah, Famicom.
Oh, I finally get that.
Oh, for real?
I know, I'm just kidding.
Oh, thank God. So here's its menu. Mind you, I've randomly selected images that I found on the internet and slapped together all willy-nilly. Haberdash. Alright, so we're going to get into the 8 games that are exclusive for the European and North American market. The first of which is Bubble Bobble.
Ah, yes. Literally nobody knows what the villain in this is called.
Oh, no, I looked it up, but that's going to come...
Nobody could... If you ask, 20 people on the street...
The ghost whale. That's all anyone ever said. And then, the horrible hurry up in music, and then a ghost whale.
Yeah.
But he'll come up later in the show. These are 2 hungry dynamites, and they've got bubble fighting fun down tight. This is the worst blog ever. Because we're just laughing at dumb shit. I don't know. Tato made this game. Tato, Tato, whatever. Bubble Bobble, Bub, and Bob. Those are their names. Apparently there's a Bubble Bobble too. It's like a really rare NES cart. Yeah, I've got information over here, so if I keep looking to the side, which is funny because there's a camera over here that's looking at Chris in Skype.
Hey, you're looking right at me.
I am. This came out in August of 1986. If that's all I have for this. Next. I'm going to let you take this one.
Castlevania 2. Oh, good God. I mean, released in August of 1987. This was actually the first game that I ever owned. I got to pick it out of the Sears catalog for a Christmas present. And, I had a terrible fear of vampires at the time. So, because my dad tried to make me watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Wait, how? Oh, the movie?
The movie, yeah.
Oh, okay, because I was like...
TV series, yeah.
I was like, wow, wait. This timeline you're creating is all messed up. It's cuckoo bananas.
I picked this out of the Sears catalog. Because I was like, yeah, what? You get to kill Dracula? Yes.
I'm in.
That is what I want. I am in.
She was...
It was my first game, and if you've never played it, it's pretty revolutionary for a game of its time. you have to go around and talk to villagers and get clues. It's not like the
You try?
standard platforming of.
Aren't you trying to put? Aren't you trying to put Dracula back together?
Yes, you have to go to these different mansions, collect his pieces, resurrect him to kill him again, because he's put a curse on your bloodline that will end the Belmont bloodline with you.
Oh, all right.
You'll just die.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. So you have to go around to these different mansions, fight these different bosses, kill these, orbs that have his pieces, and then get them all, and then find his castle. But you have to talk to the villagers to get the clues to be able to do this. And some of them
that's
just
kind
straight
of
up
cool.
lie to you.
Dude, as much as I think I've probably played this one more than I've played any other Castlevania, which is not saying a lot because I've only ever played like Castlevania, Castlevania 2, and Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Oh, and then the really cool Xbox 360 one.
Yes.
Which is like the story of it, the whole thing starting.
Lords of Shadow.
Lords of Shadow. I played that one. That was
It's
awesome.
actually a reboot, so it's retelling the origins.
Oh, fair enough. But those are the 4 Castlevanias I played. I played, but out of all 4 of them, I've played this one probably the most and have the most memories of this. And I'll tell you right now, I don't think I ever got far enough in this game to know that any of that shit was going on.
Yeah, it's really cool, and a lot of people put this down for how difficult it is of a game.
Yeah.
But you're talking about an entire different era of gaming, where like it was a real. You didn't have the internet, but it was still a real social thing.
Yeah.
You kind of beat games together as, a community.
Yeah. Well,
You wouldn't get all the pieces to put together or know what to do.
oh, as someone who used to frequent arcades a lot, like that's how I learned a lot of things, like how to play, especially like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Not that they have anything to do with any of this right now, but I mean, we were sitting there in arcades, like, I was like 12, 13, and I'm sitting there talking to like 22, 23-year-olds, and we're like sharing like secrets on how to do moves, how to like unlock Akuma in this, even if it was real, Reptile in Mortal Kombat 1, all that stuff, how to do fatalities and junk.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. And, it's funny. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, for those who are interested. And I was talking to my mom, and we brought up Bubba.
For those of us in North America, specifically the United States.
Yesterday was Thanksgiving, making today Black Friday, which means, guess what? I didn't leave my house. We were talking about Bubble Bobble at Thanksgiving. Well, I brought up that we were going to do this tonight. And I was like, we got to talk about some games, Bubble Bobble. And my mom's like, do you remember playing Bubble Bobble with me all the time? And I was like, sort of, yeah. So, we talked about Bubble Bobble. And all of a sudden my mom's, she's like in the kitchen doing stuff. And all of a sudden she's like, humming the theme song to Bubble Bobble, which I will explain to you is what I was just humming poorly. But, yeah, it was a social thing. You did it with everybody. Like, everybody was talking about secret codes and all this other junk every which way.
Right. I mean, that was the thing. Like, who in their right mind knows to go and burn that certain bush in Legend of Zelda?
Oh, nobody. Then someone does that by an accident, and they go to school the next day, and they're, like, just freaking out telling everybody.
Right. Exactly. And that's, like, how you do it. You're like, sure, you'd write to Nintendo Power.
Oh, you had the Nintendo hotline, too.
Yeah, they'd call the Nintendo hotline for help. But,
For like $3 a minute.
Right. You didn't know how to do all this shit. Like, you had to, it was part of the community and like kind of like a badge of honor to learn this stuff.
Oh, that's the thing I forgot to mention. I forgot to put in here is that when the NES Classic released, Nintendo turned the Nintendo hotline back on. It was a pre-recorded message, but you could call the old Nintendo hotline. It might even still be active now. I don't know. I'll have to check that. Maybe we can listen to it if I find it fast enough. But I should probably put this on silent in case someone like text me, which isn't gonna happen. So yeah, is Simon's Quest the one that? I'm gonna say it wrong. I'm totally gonna say it wrong. It's a terrible night for a curse.
Terrible night to have a curse.
Is that this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like one of the greatest phrases in all video gamedom if you're a fan of the old classics. Alright, so next for the North American / EU. The Oregonal. Oregonal.
Man needs Oregon.
Yeah, well, I think they put original on there so you didn't confuse it with Donkey Kong Jr. Math,
Yeah, yeah, because that's
which is totally a thing.
the game everybody's clamoring for.
Well, that's another expensive one too. Probably because they're like, we'll make a
Well,
bunch of these, and everyone's like, I
some
don't
of
want this
people
trash.
actually are clamoring for it now.
Um,
I don't think there's much to say there. I mean,
it's Donkey Kong Jr. Like,
I,
you gotta save your dad, Donkey Kong, from the terrible Jump Man, who is Mario.
yeah. I'm pretty sure his name is Mario Jumpman.
Their names are Mario, Mario, and Luigi Mario.
Yeah, Mario Jumpman.
The Jumpmans.
Mario Jumpman.
All right, so that's Donkey Kong Jr. Everybody knows that at least a little bit. Final Fantasy. So this was my first introduction to role-playing games. When I don't know if this ever happened to you or anybody else, but like after the Nintendo started, like, you know, around like 92, 93, when like the SNES was starting to come out and all that other stuff, like people were just giving away like lots of Nintendo games. I don't mean lots like giving away lots of, giving away a lot, like a bunch of Nintendo games at once, like a lot. I don't know how to say this, so like
A lot.
like a lot. Like one of my friend's parents, or my mom's friend, or something. I don't even remember who the hell this guy was. He was like, "Here, take this. It's a lot of Nintendo games. It's about 8 or 9 Nintendo games." And like, I got like 25 games towards the end of the NES career, like just from people being like, "I don't want this anymore." So Final Fantasy was one of them, and I was like, "All right, cool." Like I'm like 11 or 12 or something around there.
Yeah.
Or 10 or 11. I get this game and I start playing it, and I was like, this game is trash. I don't understand anything. I didn't understand about equipping stuff, like doing anything particular. So like I kind of just relegated it like to the back of everything. It was like, I don't want to play this anymore. Like, this is dumb.
I was the same way with Dragon Warrior. I'm like, this all sounds so cool, and then I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not old enough to understand. This is
Yeah, exactly. That's really what it was. Is I was just like, I don't get it. Like my dad hadn't taught me how to play Dungeons and Dragons yet, so I was just like, this is dumb. However, it is the beginning of the Final Fantasy franchise, which is, that's saying a lot when you think about it in the long run. I mean, it was on the NES and it's still running strong? Question mark? Yeah. I'm trying to find the Nintendo hotline number. I don't want to call their real one though by accident.
Nintendo support. How can I help you?
Yeah, I'm really sorry. You're also on the internet now. My bad.
What's the code in Contra to get 99 lives?
Yeah. Oh wait. I think I found it. Oh, it only ran for 2 days. That sucks. I totally would have recorded that now. But anyway, Final Fantasy. It's pretty fun. It actually holds up pretty well. Like, I played it not too long ago, and I was like, this is actually pretty fun. So after that, we have Kid Icarus. I used to like these. How they have, like, the adventure series. They'd tell you what kind of game you were going to play.
Yes, and that's something I feel like they don't do enough anymore.
No, they don't really tell you what genre you're getting yourself into, because sometimes games don't look anything like they're supposed to. And then you play them and you're like, wait, what is this? I liked this game. I was terrible at this game as a kid. I was never really good at video games to begin with. I just liked them a lot. Happens to me even now. But my dad, he was a pretty young dad. There's actually a whole story where like my dad was a teenager when I was young, and he got The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Brothers, and I lived with my mom. Long story, but I would call him all the time and ask him how far he got in Zelda, and he would tell me what he had done and all this stuff. And it actually brought us together and actually allowed us to form a relationship. But that's a whole story for when I'm bored and I want to do a solo vlog or something and just talk about it, because there's a whole story that goes with that. But Kid Icarus there were 3 games that he played, and I watched him play like all the time. And they were The Legend of Zelda, Kid Icarus, and Metroid. Like I remember coming home, going to my grandparents' house where my dad lived, one day and coming home and seeing my dad playing Kid Icarus in the living room and being in the last level where you're like flying around. It's like a shooter. And like you kept getting the Medusa and stuff. And I was like, that's really cool. What I think is weird is I don't know why this one isn't on the Japanese one.
Oh, because they have their own kind of eggplants.
Oh, well, instead of the regular eggplant wizards we have.
Right.
I read something the other day, and I didn't think to put it in the notes, about why the guy who... No, but about why the guy who created Kid Icarus chose eggplants for eggplant wizards. Instead of, like, turnip wizards or something. I can't remember it. And I mean, that's a useless piece of information. Parsnip wizards. It's not going to get anybody anywhere, but it's there. So yeah, Kid Icarus. It's actually fun.
If you learn that back, get back to us about it.
Yeah. Leave it in the comments. Hit like and subscribe.
You're looking at the wrong thing.
No, that's the camera that sees me. That's the camera that sees you.
Yeah. Oh. I get it.
That's the one that's being filmed. Shit. I was gonna say. Oh, so I think it's.
That's a dumb sausage face.
Yeah, stupid sausage face. So there's only 3 Kid Icarus games, and with the exception of the first one, they're all trash. Like they.
That's the important thing.
Even some people think the first one's trash, but it's real nostalgic for me, so I totally dig it. Right, so it's Myths and Monsters for the Game Boy, and then Uprising, which is for the 3DS. They're both pretty garbage games. Anyway, I digress.
The important thing to remember, though, is that Kid Icarus and Simon Belmont.
Oh, we're...
Captain Ed.
And you know who else was? The King of Kings, in my opinion. Mega Man. He was green and fat and dumpy.
I thought you were going to say Jesus for a second.
I realized when I said King of Kings, I was setting myself up for that. And then I was like, it's not the best. There was a lot of... I had some downtime.
I don't remember him being in that show.
Listen, I probably said that because I had a lot of downtime today, and the Hallmark Channel is just showing Christmas movies.
Oh, okay.
So, I was watching that, and for about 5 minutes when I came to the realization that the Teen Titans Go marathon is happening this weekend.
Which, if you guys haven't seen the video game episode of that,
oh my god,
it is amazing. It references a lot of the games we're probably going to be
Zelda, Pac-Man, Spy Hunter, Mario Brothers, and where did Beast Boy? Frogger. Yeah, Beast Boy got Frogger. So one of the North American games is Punch-Out, but not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out because...
Just Punch-Out.
Just Punch-Out. This is the best picture I could find of this cartridge. So instead of Mike Tyson at the end, you have to fight Mr. Dream, which is actually, as far as I know, I think he was... Oh no, Macho Man was the last one in the arcade version. Because I didn't know this, but Punch-Out was an arcade game first.
Macho Man, Randy Savage?
No, Super Macho Man, the blonde-haired guy.
Oh, okay.
Like, this was a arcade game first. Like, Soda Popinski, which is one of the best names for a video game character ever, was Vodka Drunkensky in it.
Which makes his dialogue...
Make a lot more sense. A lot more sense. So, Punch-Out's an awesome game. I can only get to, like... Actually, I can only get to Soda Popinski. I can't beat Soda Popinski.
You're just not believing in yourself.
Probably not.
Which is what Mac...
Yeah. What Doc tells Mac to do. Little Mac. But yeah, Punch-Out's an awesome game. So I get why that's here. Because, like, I'm sure this, was out in Japan, but, it's more of an American stylized title. And we've got Star Tropics, which, oddly enough, I've never played. But... I'm pretty sure. Make me a liar. Alright, maybe I am a liar.
Lies. All you tell is lies.
I could have sworn I owned Star Tropics. I thought I bought it at... Oh wait, there's more stuff on top. Oh, that's the cleaning thing. Yeah. Star Tropics. For you too, Star Tropics.
Yay.
I've never played it. I bought it at like the Big E, which is like the big fair that we have in these parts. Like county fair, but for 5 states. And I never played it. I remember in Nintendo Power. like wanting to play it really bad, seeing all the stuff. I remember the dude Mike, and there was a submarine, and there's all this other cool stuff. So maybe I'll do a let's play of that because I'm totally in the dark about it. That could be really fun. I could get that for the Wii, and we could do a let's play and have a good time with that.
If you like that idea, put it in the comments.
Yeah, if you think it's a stupid idea, put it in the comments. If you like grilled cheese sandwiches, put it in the comments. You know what? Say whatever you want in the comments. Doesn't matter.
Mayonnaise on your grilled cheese. Gross.
Listen. Alright, I'm not getting into that. Because my buddy Pat taught me that if you use mayonnaise instead of butter, it makes a nicer grilled cheese, and it does. And it doesn't taste like mayonnaise. So yeah, Star Tropics. It's an RPG about an island, and you got a submarine, and you fight dudes with a yo-yo. Some people called it the next evolution of The Legend of Zelda. Shame we haven't seen it since 1990. Alright, so next we have...
Oh, about a star landing in the Tropic of Cancer.
Oh, there you go. This is the final game for the North American European release. Which is Tech Mobile, which I think if you had an NES, you had Tech Mobile. Everyone had Tech Mobile. It's the only football game I've ever played in my life. Like, my friends would be like, hey, you want to play Madden? And I'd be like, it's not Tech Mobile. No, I'm good. Thank you.
That's all I need in my life.
Only football game that matters.
Techno Bowl shows you the way to the Lord.
I don't even remember if they had real teams or if it was just like made up teams. I couldn't even tell you.
It didn't matter, I don't think, because they all looked the same anyway.
Yeah, everyone looked exactly the same.
Color, yeah.
Just the colors were different. So that's Tecmo Bowl. So now, those are the 8 North American blah 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 ones. I mean, you can check all this stuff out if you check out NES Classic on Wikipedia. All this information is there. Everything. This is Atlantis no Nazo, which I believe means mysterious city of Atlantis. I didn't write it down in the notes, so I kind of forgot.
I'll believe that it says that.
I watched this show that is fan subbed called Game Center CX, usually written as GCCX. If you like old video games, watch it. It's a Japanese TV show where a stand-up comedian who's really bad at video games in general but loves video games plays old NES, Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo classics. It's probably... And he goes to arcades or candy stores or all kinds of stuff and goes all over the place. It's probably in my top 3 favorite shows of all time. It's amazing. But I've seen him play Atlantis no Nazo on there. So I'll read you the little blurb I have here. Several years ago, a gigantic island arose from the southern Atlantic Ocean due to sudden shifts on the Earth's surface. Numerous adventurers made their way to the island to investigate, but none of them were able to return home safely. This island was named Atlantis, and nobody approached it out of fear. The game's main character is an amateur adventurer named Wynn, who decides to go to the island after learning that his master disappeared on the island over half a year ago. Armed with the special dynamite invented by the master, Wynn heads over to Atlantis all by himself to face an evil emperor who seeks to revive an ancient empire.
You know, I like how it starts off like you're listening to something on National Geographic Channel, and then gets down to where it was like written in crayon by a 7-year-old.
We gave him the special dynamite that was invented by his master.
Armed with the special dynamite invented by the master, Wynn heads over to Atlantis all by himself to face the evil emperor who seeks to revive an
Booby.
empire of emperors.
Empire of Emperors, where he will be overlord, dictator, emperor of emperors.
King of kings.
King of kings. So that's one of the yeah, whatever. Next game is Supario Zumo, which literally translates to shoving sumo. There were apparently a lot of these in Japan, a lot of these Supario Zumo games for like different systems. There's like at least another sequel to this one. There was a Super Nintendo one, I believe. I get why this is on. This is like the Japanese Tech Mobile. It's like what every kid had.
Shoving sumo 1 through 80.
Yeah. It's a sumo game. We don't have much more information than that. And literally, there wasn't much information on Wikipedia or any of the NES sites that I was trying to look at either. So there's that. Yeah. Yi Kung Fu. This was released actually for computers in Europe, so they got it. And in the arcade, so they got it. In the arcades, you would fight. This is like the game that basically started fighting games. There were 13 different people you could fight in the arcade versions, but when they brought it to like home computer, NES, like the Commodore 64 and all that stuff, you could only fight 5. They took out like a whole bunch of people. I guess because the cart couldn't handle it. I think maybe.
Probably.
I mean that's the best reason I have for it. But
consider like how games like Turtles Tournament Fighters were
butchered. Well, think about how Donkey Kong was butchered. There's a whole level in the NES version of Donkey Kong that's not there because it could only handle the 3, the cement factory part. I didn't know that was a thing until I was playing Donkey Kong in an arcade about 3 years ago, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So that's Yar Kung Fu, or Yar Kung Fu. Final Fantasy 3. We didn't get this game for a very long time, but we got it. But this is, I think the big deal about Final Fantasy 3 is it's the Final Fantasy that introduces the job system.
Right, but also didn't this one not come out in the U.S. ever?
No, it didn't come out in the U.S. until like, I mean, it did eventually, but as like stuff for like the Virtual Console or
exactly
collections for the PlayStation, stuff like
so
that. I don't.
US 3 was actually 6.
Yes, we got 1. We got 6 as 3. No, wait. We got 1. 1 was 1. We didn't get 2. We didn't get 3. 4 was 2. We didn't get 5. 6 was 3. And then we got 7 as 7. So that's a thing. But that's how Final Fantasy works in the United States.
Right. Skip over a whole bunch of numbers.
Yeah, why not? And there's Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which was actually different game altogether. So then we have this. Excuse me. I haven't played this one. I had the collection, but I never actually played it. This next one's kind of fun because we actually got this game and I had this game. So in America, this was called NES Open Tournament Golf. However, in Japan, it was Mario Open Golf. Now, I got all my information from like some various NES websites, Wikipedia, a couple other places. I tried to back up as much information as I could find. If I'm wrong, leave it in the comments. Let me know I'm wrong, and I'll do more research next time. And I will apologize openly for any mistakes I made during this. But this was just, I mean, my grandfather played this a lot. He played this and he played Dr. Mario all the time. And that's all the real memory I have of it. But yeah, it's NES Open Tournament Golf, so you can look that up and see what you got there and all that jazz. But I feel funny because I think this should have been on the American one too because we got this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any real... Yeah, apparently they're kind of different too. Like they had identical graphics and gameplay, but there's like different amounts of courses and different music and stuff like that. All right, what do we got here? Solomon's Key. I have this game on my Wii actually. This game is impossible. Like it's really like you basically have a little wand where you make blocks disappear and stuff, and like there's all these different codes and stuff. But I remember when I was a kid, I always wanted to play when I was little because I would see it at like Video Galaxy to rent.
Yep.
Like that.
How many games have you seen like that? Like you have in your mind that this game is going to be so freaking awesome. You see it on the shelf and you can never get it, and then like years later you wind up playing it and you're just like, why? Why did I even play this? There
are 2 games that are like the perfect examples of it. One is Solomon's Key. The other one was Mylan's Secret Castle. To this, I've always wanted to play that game. I just remember it was cool because like I remember reading the back of the box or something and being like, Mylan's deaf, or Mylon. He's deaf and can't hear anything. And this evil wizard or something plays this music that takes all the villagers in the city, or like the town or whatever, and captures them basically like with some Pied Piper shit. And you have to go around getting like the 7 or 6 or 5 or 8 mystical musical instruments. And I was like, that's just a really neat thing. Like, this kid's deaf, and he's like, well, I'm the only hope because I can't hear any of this music that's enchanting everybody else. which I think is pretty cool. Solomon's Key, or just like, my name's... Yeah. Solomon's Key is just like, my name's Dana, and I need to do a thing with some stuff, and poof, I make blocks. There's a sequel to this, which is actually a prequel about how Dana got into this situation, which was Solomon's Key 2 in Japan, but was Fire and Ice for the NES in America. And I don't think any of the Fire and Ice stuff actually denotes that it was Solomon's Key 2 or Solomon's Key .5. But this is a fun game. I actually recommend this game. Like, it's one of those games that will test you and make it so you might break your TV.
Yeah, if you do, you just weren't destined to own one.
Yeah. Alright. So I didn't know this. Like, so this downtown Neketsu, there's like a whole bunch of them. There's like 8, 9, 10 of them. If you ever played Super Dodgeball, that's one of them. It's this, I think the red-haired dude in the picture is Kunio-kun, and he's like the main character of all of them. So like in Super Dodgeball, now this one was the first one, and it got brought over to America as River City Ransom.
Yeah.
With Super Dodgeball, I don't know if you played Super Dodgeball a lot, but I did. I loved that game. It was like America, Japan, Russia. It was like all these like teams from around the world. But since I don't know too much about River City Ransom because I never played it, I just know the name. In Dodgeball, like they changed a lot of stuff. They like took the dudes that were in River City Ransom and they put them from Japanese school uniforms into like jeans and stuff so they would be more American. Super Dodgeball, it was a bunch of high schools against each other. But when they brought it over here, they changed it into like a world tournament, which I thought was kind of interesting. Then there's this game. This is the 8th game that they get on their on the Japanese Famicom, which is another of the downtown Neketsu games. I can literally find no information on this game. The best I could find is that it's like it's a sports game where there's 4 athletic events and you're up against like 4 other high schools. Like, that's all the information I could find, and I looked for a long time. I was probably looking in the wrong spot. If you know a good place to find information about Famicom or any of these 678 licensed Nintendo games, please leave it in the comments. Like and share. Oh, I went too far. Whoop. Go back. I don't know. I think all in all, it's a pretty cool mix. I would love to play these Japanese ones. Like, I'll probably get a Famicom Classic. Like I said, they're cheaper than the NES Classics right now by like $100. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. We're gonna take a short break for about 3 or 4 minutes, and so I can use the "we'll be right back" thing. I have to fill up my cup real quick
before it runneth over.
Or emptieth out. Oh wait. I guess we're not taking a break.
Okay, we're staying, right?
We're staying. Never mind. Yeah, so let's get into the next part. So the next part is we decided we're going to try to do little lists because it's easy for us to talk about lists because when we're hanging out with just us, that's usually what we talk about is we make lists of inane dumb shit. So today's list is going to be your your 5 favorite villains from NES games for whatever reasons. So we're going to start with Chris's. All right, so Chris, well, I should take it away.
I'm taking it away.
Take it away.
First, number 1, right off the bat, who would probably be my favorite villain from any NES game, is Dracula from Castlevania. This is what you've worked for the entire game. This is what you fought through all the levels, fought all these other monsters, classic monsters too. Frankenstein, Grim Reaper, Bat, Mummy.
Is the Hunchback in this one, or is that Grant in the second one, or the third one?
Well, both. I mean, the Hunchback's in here.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I kind of remember that, but I wasn't really sure.
So you get to this, you know, you've got a great background there. You know, the very, you know, good mood setting. What do I want to?
Ambiance.
Yeah, there you go. Ambiance.
Yeah, that's a pretty Dracula looking scene.
Right, very Dracula looking scene. You get there, fight Dracula. You know, he's teleporting around, shooting these fireballs. Just, you know, from then on, most incarnations, the fights tend to start like that.
Yeah.
And you beat him, and you think it's all over. And then that is when you just want to throw your controller through the screen.
Yeah. I wrote notes for these too.
I mean, you have you get to the second form, and some kind of gargoyle.
I don't know. I think it kind of looks like a undead grimace.
Pretty much.
Like an undead flying grimace.
But it's like, I mean, you know, you both love and hate the game because you're like, you've gotten so far, you know, you barely have any life left. Finally, you did it. You killed Dracula. You're just like, God, no.
Like, what does he just do? Like, does it just like hop around?
Yeah, hops around, shoot stuff.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it is, but when you beat it, it's all that much more satisfying.
I think that's a big part of a lot of those games.
Yeah.
Is the satisfaction of actually beating one of these really hard bosses.
Right, but like the sheer surprise of it, like really, it just, you know, that first time, you can't believe what's happening.
You're like, I beat Dracula. I don't. Yeah. What? I don't know what that is.
Like we played it on the Wii. Wii U, like, I don't know, me and a couple of friends decided, and they had never beaten it. They never got, you know, they played it like just a little bit, never really got invested in playing the game. And so my friend Steph was playing it, and like she's like, "Yeah, I just beat Dracula." I'm just sitting there like, "Oh no!"
And away we go.
She had like one sliver of life left, and then second form. And you're just like, "The fuck just happened?"
So you get all the way done, and you're like, "Yes, I'm done." To the point where you're like, "Kill Dracula, put the controller down."
Yep.
Oops.
No, I didn't.
All right. So for 2, we have that golden classic, The Legend of Zelda. Extended playing power.
Yeah, a great all-time game, and
for real.
Very original bosses and boss fights in here. My personal pick for this, and I don't want to go too much into detail with why I made the pick, because I believe you also have one on your list.
Yes, I do too. Yeah, one of my bosses is a Zelda boss too, or one of my villains. Not all bosses for me.
It's and I think what's important about this game and Goma is that these bosses all require some thought to beat. They don't, you can't just
so funny looking.
Yeah. So it's in the realm of 8-bit gaming, that was something really ingenious at the time. That you have to puzzle your way past the boss rather than just
you can't bulldoze through it. You can't bulldoze through it.
Yeah, button mash or wait for timing, or because a lot of 8-bit bosses are just that timing.
Oh yeah, like if anyone who's played a Mega Man game,
patterns.
Yeah, Mega Man game, it's all memorization. But no, Goma was pretty cool. I mean, he's showed up more than I would think, and with the exception maybe the Dodongo, in more Zelda games than any of the bosses from the original one.
Right.
And there he is, in his little box art, where he looks ridiculous. Hi, it's me, Goma, and I'm just a little spider.
Next is Contra. Talking about a final boss of the game, Red Falcon.
I wasn't sure if it was... I had such a hard time remembering what this thing's name. All right.
Red Baron, Red Falcon, Red Hot, Red Leather, Yellow Leather.
These are the notes because I couldn't remember. So This giant fried shrimp shooting penis is apparently the last boss. Now,
Yeah.
I told Chris this last night or the night before. I was like, all right, man, I gotta be honest with you. I have never in my life played Contra. So I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking for. Which he did. Would that make me the Red Baron? Or the Red Falcon? Or the Red Hot?
Get your red hot.
So all of Chris's picks are actually really awesome because all the bosses have some kind of like cool trick or like switch or something really neat. And I was just like, I was watching a quick video and I was like, oh, you just got to fight this giant xenomorph looking thing, and it's all over. And then Chris was like, nah, dude, that's not how it works. Which he then explained to me.
Yeah, not only do you have to shoot the shrimp shooting penis, then you have to go inside its gizzard. And then you have to shoot its heart, or it tries to shoot these little crabs at you.
Which are blatantly face huggers, without even trying to not be face huggers. They're face huggers.
They're all face huggers, yeah. Yeah, you have to kill the heart, and then also the things that make the face huggers on the upside, up or down there.
Oh, the little pod things?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
See,
even
you
look.
already blasted one of them.
Yeah, I can see that.
The lower left one.
That's pretty good. What are we on now?
And then Round Falcon's dead. Which, I don't understand how you're fighting all these soldier guys. And then
I think that's what surprised me about this picture.
Yeah.
Like when I went to look for this, you were like Red Falcon, and I expected like some M Bison looking dude on a plane.
I expected Snoopy to show up.
Yeah, exactly. Flying out his doghouse with Woodstock, just being like. "Rah, rah, 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 rah." But instead, I was like, "Oh my god, did this just turn into Gradius?" Like.
Yeah, there's an alien dragon you have to kill. And then the epic punch out.
Now,
Mike Tyken's punch.
Mike Tyken snunch out. I'm not gonna lie. If you talk to anybody who grew up during this time, everyone says Mike Tyson's Punch Out. No one just says Punch Out featuring Mr. Dream. It was Mike Tyson's Punch Out. That's the one everyone played. Yeah, everyone played this one. But
it's Punch Out featuring Mr. Dream.
I know. All right. Well, fine then.
I went for the most memorable boss from the game.
He's from Fiji.
Aside from Mike Tyson.
Aside from Mike Tyson, or Mr. Dream.
Mike Tyson.
No one ever got to Mike Tyson. You had to fight Bald Bull and Piston Honda like 6 times a piece.
Yeah. You get to Mike Tyson? No. Yes. But, yes.
So King Hippo.
Yeah, King Hippo. Yep. That is, I mean, you punch him and his pants fall down. What more do you want? I mean, out of the boss.
And then you got to punch him in his little belly button bandage. And you only got. That's a really good rendition of that sound.
Yeah.
And then you only got to knock him down once, because that's all it takes. Because he's like the most puzzle one out of all of them. Because you can't hit him anywhere except for that one time when he's about to lift his hand, and then drop his pants, and then punch him in the guts.
Right. This is how you really how professional boxers do it.
Wait for the trousers to fall, and then just punch them in the gut until they die. Pretty much.
I remember that scene from Rocky. That guy used to throw up everywhere.
My organs.
Another Castlevania made it onto the list.
That's all 3 NES Castlevanias in this vlog. I don't know what to call this. It's a pod vloggable cast.
Vlogcast.
A vlogable cast. Shut up! Don't judge me.
But this one I went with because it's a real. You don't have to beat it this way, but there's an interesting little trick in there to beat this boss.
I thought this was super cool.
Yeah. So while you're fighting the hammer wielding Cyclops in the statue garden there, to get Sypha to help you if you want to.
Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know you got her for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's one of the statues right there.
Oh yeah, that actually I see that now.
Yeah. So, Castlevania 3 had some. They went back, didn't do any of the stuff from Castlevania 2 with the
Villagers and all that stuff.
with the villagers and the journeying around. Again, this one's a straight platformer, but you get to choose which way you go. And then you also
Oh
get
yeah,
to choose,
like up or down basically. Well, it's not up or down, but like
right.
that's how
You
it
beat the
presents
stage,
itself.
and then the map shows up, and you get to choose. You go up a staircase, and you'll go one way. You go down a staircase, you go another
Yeah.
way on the map. And then depending on which way you choose to beat the castle, you can get sidekick characters that you can switch in and out of. There's Grant Dynasty, who's a pirate.
The Hunchback we were talking about.
Right. You fight him as a hunchback, and then he turns back into Grant.
Yeah.
He can crawl on walls and ceilings, throws knives. He has different sub weapons, and he can also, very important distinction, change direction of mid jump.
Which no one else can do.
No one else can do, and that most 8-bit characters couldn't do ever.
No, that's very true.
So that was kind of revolutionary right there. You can change to Alucard, who can turn into a bat and fly through parts of the stage. And shot fireballs like Dracula, or Sypha, who's a sorceress, her sub weapons were all spells.
Mm-hmm.
This boss fight there, you get Sypha if you win, but it's a pretty basic boss fight. You stab the Cyclops in his eye, or throw your daggers to hit him in the eye, hit him with the whip in the eye. Anyway, you have to hit him in the eye to do damage, basically. Big, slow, lumbering, throws the hammer. But what you can do, in the background of the stage, lightning will strike every so often. If you throw the knife over him while the lightning's going, you'll actually hit him and take off about a quarter of his life. The lightning bolt will come down and strike him.
I thought that was so cool.
From the dead.
So cool.
Like, there's nowhere where they tell you a clue about this. There's nowhere,
You're not reading some tablet on a wall somewhere.
Right. It's just a real interesting thing to add into a boss fight, I thought.
No, I totally agree with that. That's when you told me that, I thought that was one of the coolest things like I had heard about an NES game in a long time, actually. Good stuff. All right, I guess we'll move on to my 5, and we'll start with The Legend of Zelda. Hey, look, it's this again. And my boss, you've seen it before, was the Manhandler.
My boss?
My boss.
The Manhandler.
The king, yeah, the Manhandler boss. It's late. It's late. It's just late. It was the Manhandler. I always thought this thing was cool. I don't know. For some reason, it always reminded me of like Little Shop of Horrors, and I really dug that movie when I was a kid. The cool thing about this is the first time I ever fought it, when I was playing, like, I wasn't playing through so much as my dad would be like, here, do you want to try? Well, he was playing. He's like, you're supposed to use bombs on it, I guess. I put a bomb down, it rolled over it, and blew up all 4 heads at once. And my dad just stared at me, because I was some kind of idiot savant at that point. But I was more than that, I was just lucky, really.
I was more than that, I was lucky.
Yeah.
I'm claiming the idiot savant.
Yeah. I was lucky.
Really lucky.
Yeah. So there's that. So my next boss, this brings us to this, is from Bubble Bobble. Or my next villain is from Bubble Bobble. Because the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? That's like one of those sounds that you remember really well. So we were talking about this. He'd come up before. The spoopy ghost whale. His name was actually Baron von Blubba, but he was called Skellmonster in Japan.
That makes more sense.
It does. It does. It's better than Baron von Blubba. I always thought he was just some kind of weird ghost whale. But I tried to get the sound for this, but as we disclaimed in the first slide of this, we have no production value because we're super sketchy. So I couldn't figure out how to put music in, so I just said, fuck it. But there's like this sound, and the screen says hurry up on it. Like, you'll be taking your time, popping balloons, gathering fruit and stuff, and all of a sudden you'll hear this like alarm go off. And once the alarm goes off, there's like a 4-second thing, and then this dude just chases you until you finish it. And 9 out of 10 times, he will kill you. Like, without even trying. You're just like, oh my god, done. Done. Out. My little dinosaur's dead. So my next game, so I am a huge Mega Man fan. Huge Mega Man fan. And this is actually the Mega Man game I have played the least. But in my opinion, out of the original NES Mega Mans 1 through 6, has the single coolest boss in it. He's like my favorite dude, and he's actually made it to the cover. Hold on, I'm sorry. I always thought Pharaoh Man. I always thought Pharaoh Man was the coolest. You had the Pharaoh shot that you could charge up. Like that's an awesome picture. I would get that as a tattoo.
I know, like he looks awesome and like stuff, but like in the grand scheme of things, I just think he's the like the of all the Mega Man robot masters, like he's the one that makes the least sense to me.
Oh yeah, like you're in the desert and you like have to go in a pyramid, and for reasons unbeknownst to us, they built a robot for the pyramid.
Right. Like I'm like, okay, and water, like okay, these all make sense. You're going with elements. You're going with electricity, cutting, like
I don't know, dude. Some are out there.
Think of Pharaoh.
You got Pharaoh Man, Toad Man. That's just this one alone. I'm trying to think of other ones. Charge Man, he's a train.
Yeah.
What else? Some
But I
ridiculous.
mean, like you know,
Strike Man. Strike Man's a baseball with a baseball glove. Sheep Man's a real one.
like, I understand. There's animals.
And a baseball.
There's animals and like a baseball and a train. Things that like I can make a robot look like an animal. How am I gonna make a robot king of Egypt?
Maybe he's the. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna let that leave my mouth. Get some hate mail for that shit. I don't know. I just thought Pharaoh Man was cool looking. He's really like my boss. Chris picked like bosses that had really intricate fights. I just picked dudes that I was like when I was a kid. I was like that guy's cool. Also next, I don't know about you, but I loved this show when I was a kid. And this game was made by Capcom and used the Mega Man engine.
Can't go wrong there.
So it was Mega Man and Darkwing Duck, and like I mean I could tell you, like the only problem I had with this game is that it was kind of like Mega Man in that you could like choose 3 stages, and then once you beat those 3, you could choose 3 more stages, and once you beat those 3, you went to the final stage. So the final boss was Steelbeak. Spoilers. You had Megavolt, Bushroot, Liquidator, Quackerjack, Moliarty. So those are like the and then you had Wolf Duck. Like, I just don't get that. That's not from any Darkwing Duck episodes. Like, you could have been in, like, Tusker Nini, or that cleaning lady, or Pharaoh Man. I would have been happier than Wolf Duck. But anyway, Pharaoh Man, Wolf Duck. My name's, what's your name? Wolf Duck? Wolf Duck Ferriman? Yeah, well, excuse me, Mr. Ferriman? Wolf Dick Ferriman, attorney at law. So my favorite was Liquidator. I liked Liquidator. I always thought he was cool in the cartoon. I always thought he was cool here. This boss fight took me a while to figure out when I was a kid. I don't really have much to say about it. I mean, you basically had to hang from underneath to shoot him with your gas gun, and then he would basically make those weird little birds that would come after you in the little blobs. But he'd like bloop down in the water and then like bloop back up and all this other stuff. It was just fun. It was a good fight. So then there's Kirby's Adventure. I'm a huge Kirby advocate too. Like I love the Kirby games. Like I just think they're really great. So my favorite boss fight. Alright, so this is kind of hard. Like the Meta Knight fight's really awesome. Because like Meta Knight in general is a really cool Kirby character, a really cool video game character in general. But my favorite villain in this was the Mr. Bright and Mr. Shine. I think Mr. Bright's the sun and Mr. Shine's the moon, and I thought they were cool. I thought it was like one of them. The night.
Of course, it's the moon, Tony.
How foolish of me. When you're fighting the moon on the ground, the sun's up there like shooting down beams of upside down H's. And when the sun's down here, he's like going back and forth, and the moon's like shooting stars and stuff. I don't know. It was a really fun boss fight. It was really, really neat. So that's basically, the entirety of the list.
Good list.
It's a decent list. My stuff's mostly like nostalgic. Your stuff was like mechanical, but in both regards, I think they were both a really solid list. But yeah, so that's actually the first episode of Geek Chow. You have anything you want to say, Chris? Anything you want to discuss anymore?
I don't think so. I think we've pretty much covered that. I think we were going to talk a little bit about that documentary day.
The documentary?
Yeah,
Oh, the Nintendo Quest.
yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that's right. Well, I'll just leave this here in case you guys forget what to do. Um,
Like, subscribe.
and comment.
Nintendo Quest. We watched it. It was on Crackle.
Yeah, we watched it on Crackle, which is Crackle's free to sign up for, and basically anything on there you can watch. It was a documentary made by two guys in Canada, London, Canada, where basically they give the guy making the film is best friends with the guy in the film, and the gentleman in the film, Jay, they give him 30 days to find and purchase all 678 licensed NES games.
Not including tournament.
Yeah, not including like the World Championship stuff. But he still had to get stadium events. He still had to get Little Samson, Panic Restaurant, like all these really hard ones to get.
Right. And the reason why stadium events is so hard is because you probably played it, but not called stadium events.
No, I forget what it was rebranded as. Track and Field?
Yeah.
Yeah, Track and Field. Which, if you played NES, you knew came with the power pad. It came with the power pad. But before they released it like that, they released it as Stadium Events, which was the original name, but there was a very, very limited run. And I mean, Stadium Events, like with the box and the book, has gone for upwards of $77,000, which is ridiculous. I watched it a second time because I fell asleep watching it the first time because there was bourbon involved. Yeah, but I ended up passing out on my couch while Chris finished watching it. So I watched it the next day because I was like, no, I got halfway through that. It was like interesting. I wanted to see it. I'm not going to spoil how it goes, but just seeing, I was looking up some of the stuff, I found a Stadium Events on eBay that day. Just the cartridge, the original cartridge, they wanted like 12 grand for. I found an original Little Samson, which it's funny. I was looking that up and I was like, what is this game, Little Samson? Because that was like number 2 on his like to get list. After Stadium Events, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, I really remember reading about this in Nintendo Power, because you can like turn into a golem or a dragon or a mouse, and I was like, dude, I totally remember this. Like, I don't think I ever played it, but I remember reading about it and thinking that was a really neat combination of stuff you could turn into, and you had to get bells and stuff. I saw just the cartridge of that for like $3 grand. You know, and I mean, that's just the cartridge. But I totally recommend that documentary. Some of the characters are a little like, you're kind of a chud, but not in a terrible way.
Yeah, I think and the important thing is about the documentary is he can't use the internet to get the games.
Oh, it's true. He has to go from store to store and get everything. He can't use the internet. I think he might have used the internet to like find out where stores were, but like beyond that, he wasn't really allowed to use it.
Yeah, he couldn't use it, like couldn't use eBay or Amazon or anything.
Or yeah,
to buy the game.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's definitely worth checking out. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening, Chris. Where can people find you?
On the interwebs.
Where on the interwebs?
Oh yes.
We're gonna get Chris a webcam soon too, so you can see Chris while he talks. We'll have to redo the whole thing because it's just my big face.
I'm gonna send you a puppet.
That'll be awesome.
A sock.
Maybe just a sock. I'm not gonna lie. If we purchase puppets, this is gonna become 2 puppets talking about this, and I'm gonna be cramped underneath this desk being a puppet for you guys. Be like, hey everybody, hope you're having a good time. My cat. Yeah, this is how things are now. My cat's attacking my leg. Just hear this as I hit my head on everything constantly. But anyway, where can we find you, Chris?
Well, right now, I mean, you can find me on Twitch at Iggy Copperwell, and that's also my Twitter.
Where you go? You want to plug the infallible truth?
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a hot second.
You can find me on YouTube doing ridiculous stuff.
It's pretty awesome. Like I actually get really jealous and sad that I'm not a part of it because Chris and I can't hang out all the time because Chris lives in Massachusetts and I live in Connecticut. But I want to be part of the Infallible Truth. Like, every time I watch it, I'm like, I should have been there.
I should have been that guy throwing stuff at you.
I should have been dressed up as that clown lady. Wait.
Hey, what you do in your free time?
Yeah, I just do it anyway. I mean, why not? No, I totally recommend the Infallible Truth. Some pretty awesome stuff. There's a bunch of Let's Plays, a bunch of like shitty movie reviews. Like, no, they're like good reviews of shitty movies.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a better way to say that.
But yeah, a bunch of ridiculous stuff. Me and my friend Matt, we do, and that's on YouTube. Infallible Truth, the one that's not associated with the church.
Oh, good to say.
Yeah, there's like some weird religious fringe
Gobbledygook.
called the Infallible Truth.
Oh, good. Well, you can
We
find.
didn't know that at the time.
You can find me at the scrolling bar above my head right now. That's my Twitch.
That's the bar I drink at.
Yeah, the bar I drink at. There's my Twitch, my Instagram, my Twitter, my BattleNet. Add me if you guys want. And there's something. Oh, my YouTube. That's my personal YouTube. I meant to take that down, but I didn't. And then we have a Patreon where you can donate to us. I don't know why you would, but it'd be cool.
To give us more time to do this.
Yeah, really, we've got some. We've got some rewards set up, some situations. If there's anything you guys would like to see, like a new kind of show, what you have a topic for a show or anything like that, just let us know in the comments below. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. And there's gonna be like 3 hot seconds where I shut everything down, and it's gonna be a terrible ending. But there you go.
We love you.
We love you a lot. It's probably because you're my mom and you're watching this, and you're like the only other person to watch it besides like us. Bye, Mom.
Oh, I ain't watching this.
I watched this shit.